The Life of Akame. Akame ga Kill. Akame, also known as Akame of the Demon Sword Murasame, is the titular heroine alongside Tatsumi and lead anti-heroine of the manga series Akame ga Kill, as well as the main protagonist of the prequel manga Akame ga Kill 0. She also appears as a main supporting character in Hinowa ga Yuku, mainly as Hinata's personal tutor of swordsmanship and Elder's class combat tutor. Originally sold to the Empire along with her sister Kurome to be trained as an assassin, Akame eventually defected to the rebels when she was sent to assassinate General Najenda, the leader of the Night Raid, and join them to overthrow the corrupt monarchy. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the life of Akame. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all our social media. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Akame ga Kill 0. When Akame was a child, her parents sold both her and her sister Kurome to the Empire. They were forced to participate in a cruel exam, being put inside of a forest inhabited by many danger beasts. The only goal is to survive and escape the forest. Out of 100 children participating in the exam, Akame and her sister are among the few who manage to survive, but are parted when Gozuki refuses to allow the siblings to join the same group, noting that it would be bad for them to depend on each other. As the stronger of the two sisters, Akame is accepted into Gozuki's new assassin squad, the Elite 7, and is trained in the arts of espionage and combat, becoming a highly effective killer. The 7 were given Shingu, weapons that the Emperor 400 years ago created in order to surpass the Tegu, but failed. Akame was given Kirichi Monji, a Shingu where wounds inflicted by the katana cannot be healed. After a long unspecified period of time training, the 7 were given their first mission. Akame was sent to kill Martha, a person in the nearby village who was a revolutionary army spy and also a close friend to Akame. This was done to test her resolve, as Gozuki feared that she was far too kind for their purposes. As the others finished their mission successfully, Akame led Martha to a graveyard with the intention of proving that Martha was innocent. Martha denies the claim and Akame tries to leave, proving to herself that the information she was given was incorrect. However, Martha uses the moment when Akame turned her back on her to strike at her. Realizing the truth of the information she was given, Akame cuts her down and Martha dies by Akame's blade, and this brings tears to Akame's eyes. The story skips ahead at this point, next showing Akame and Tsukushi disguising themselves among a traveling entertainer group. Soon the group is attacked by bandits, and the pair help fight off their attackers, defeating all of them. Impressed by Akame and Tsukushi's skill in battle, the entertainers group attempt to recruit them both, revealing themselves as rebels plotting against the Empire. Akame and Tsukushi signaled their comrades from the Imperial Assassin Squad to attack the group after this revelation, having confirmed that their targets are indeed rebels. Akame and her comrades eliminate the members of the entertainers group. Their mission is deemed a success, and they are both praised by their mentor and leader, Gozuki. After multiple successful assassinations by the group, the Revolutionary Army eventually turned to assassins as well, hiring the Tengu mercenaries and the Orbergs in an attempt to counter the Empire's assassination group, unknowingly pitting the Elite 7 against them. Months later, the Elite 7 would head on to their new assignment of destroying one of the supply routes of the Revolutionary Army in Hakuro River. Akame herself was stationed underwater where she would intercept and slaughter anyone who tried to escape under the water once her teammates began their assault against the supply boats. The 7 then launched their sneak attack and successfully annihilated the Tengu mercenaries. Akame herself managed to kill a few of them due to her attempts of escaping underwater. However, unknown to her, Barbara Orberg and Taiko of the Orberg clan managed to successfully sneak past her and escape down the river and managed to get the physical description of 2 of her teammates, Najasho and Green. During a trip to Dengji town, Akame befriends Taiko after being introduced to her by Cornelia. A day or so later, Akame is approached by Taiko, who says that she has a message from Cornelia. Akame is then led to the outskirts of the town by Taiko, who then points to Cornelia's corpse. Taiko attempts to assassinate Akame, who dodges counterattacks. The two fight to a stalemate until one final clash ends with Akame emerging victorious. Akame then runs over to check up on Cornelia, only to discover that she is dead. The rest of the team arrives at the scene where they mourn over Cornelia's grave until it's time to escape. 2 weeks later, Akame and her comrades are assigned a new mission. They are told to head to Putra, located in the northwest region of the Empire. Before leaving for their mission, the group has a meeting to discuss their plan of action. Once the meeting is complete, Akame and Green step outside where they're approached by 3 gravekeepers. A battle ensues and Akame knocks out 3 of them and leaves the last for Green. During the battle, both Green and Akame work in sync in order to defeat and capture the last gravekeeper. Finally, the team arrives at the tomb of the king. As they explore the tomb, the group has to avoid numerous traps set by the gravekeepers, as well as dispatch danger beasts and gravekeeper members. The group is later separated due to a huge boulder trap. It is here where Akame encounters Jamo. During a brief scuffle, Akame is ensnared by Jamo's tentacles until she begins to eat him alive, which causes him to retreat. She chases him to the tomb's atrium, where Jamo releases a chained-down teammate, Nubis. After a quick fight, Akame dispatches Nubis and meets up with Green, who has captured Jamo. The pair are approached by Wineg, who declares that he shall take up his deceased relative's fight, and they are challenged to a 2-on-2 fight. Akame fights Wineg, and during their battle, Green joins in after forcing Jamo to retreat, making it a 2-on-1 fight. During their battle, Green tries to serve as Akame's shield, but is taken out quickly. Wineg then tries to choke Akame to death with minor interference from Green proving futile. While on the brink of losing consciousness, Akame spots Kurome in the distance. With newfound strength, she drives Wineg back. Tsukushi is also around and informs Akame of Wineg's secret art ability and that it was responsible for killing Guy. Akame declares that she's the only one that can take out Wineg and their battle resumes. Over the course of their battle, Akame dodges Wineg's fire and utilizes her Shingu's ability, and inflicts small unhealable cuts all over his body, knowing that the Shingu effects won't hurt her once Wineg returns the damage. She continues doing this until Wineg is unable to return the damage and is exhausted from blood loss. After being separated for such a long time, the sisters are finally reunited. The reunion is short because Wineg activates the tomb's self-destruct sequence. The remains of both the Group of Terror and the Elite Seven work together to escape the collapsing tomb. They eventually managed to escape, however, they lost both Guy and Najisho. 1 month later, at the Imperial Palace, Gozuki is informed that Natala, Gin, and Kurome will be integrated into his team, where Akame is temporarily made the leader. The next day, the team is assigned a mission to go to the water capital of Swin. Upon arriving in the town, the team is assigned to work at the Suikeni trade firm. It is here where Akame pairs up Kurome and Tsukushi. Sometime later, during their food hunt in the marshes, Akame's team encounters a danger beast and dispatches it on short notice as it devours all their collected food. During a trip to purchase oil, Akame notices a suspicious merchant and informs Gozuki. During some downtime, Akame learns some craftsmanship from Green. Later, during a meeting with Gozuki, he informs the team that he's learned the location of the rebellion's salt works, Gappy Marsh. While en route, Gozuki mentions that they've identified 2 locations and decides to take them both out, so he splits the team in 2. Green, Kurome, and Tsukushi travel with Akame, and eventually they arrive at a recently evacuated factory. When Akame and the others discuss whether or not the villages are aiding in the rebellion, she's told not to think about it too much. 3 weeks later, while out on a search mission, Natala, Kurome, and Akame are ambushed by Mairead Orberg, Daniel, and Cassandra. Natala is severely injured while Kurome and Akame are taken as hostages. A while later, both Akame and Kurome awaken inside a warehouse and are approached by Mairead, who tells them that Natala is alive and that she is going to tell them the truth about the world. Mairead then frees the two and they walk out of the room together, where they're led to 3 men tied with rope. Mairead kills the men and tells Akame and Kurome that she planted insects inside their bodies. Akame asks about her truth of the world. Mairead responds by having them sit so she can tell them the story. Mairead explains that Prime Minister Honest is behind the country's suffering due to manipulating the young emperor. Akame is then taken outside and forced into a race with Murade. Eventually, the two go around many towns in the region listening to the citizens' dissatisfaction with the Empire. Murade then shows Akame one last surprise, Kurome's drug withdrawal. Akame gives Kurome her drugs for the withdrawal symptoms. Before the events of Akame ga Kill. At some point, after many of her comrades' deaths, she became dissatisfied and resentful towards the government. It was not until she was sent to kill former General Najenda that Akame finally defected to the rebels, after being swayed by her words. Her defection from the Empire sparked an intense rivalry between the fellow assassin and her sister Kurome, along with a mutual desire to be the one to end the other. Events of Akame ga Kill. Akame first appears with the rest of the Night Raid to assassinate Arya and her family. She briefly battles Tatsumi, who was under the impression that the family was innocent. The fight stops when Leone interferes. After he sees the truth, Arya is cut down and the mission is complete. Akame is next seen eating the parts of an evil bird species and offers some to Tatsumi. She retracts her offer when she is told Tatsumi is not yet part of Night Raid. Later, when Tatsumi states that Night Raid are assassins of justice, everyone bursts out laughing. She, however, remains silent. After Tatsumi accepts joining Night Raid, they're attacked by several members of the Empire-employed tracking clan, and Night Raid is sent to dispatch them. Akame is attacked by 3 men, whom she dispatches with great ease. She later helps deal the killing blow to an enemy that Tatsumi was fighting, telling him to promptly land the killing blow to his enemies. Najenda tells Tatsumi to train under Akame, which at first seems to be a variety of chores, including cooking and fishing. Eager to make Akame accept him, Tatsumi deals with Ogre of the Imperial Guard, whilst Akame and Leone deal with the other target, Gamal. Upon his return, Akame strips Tatsumi of his clothes to check for wounds, and expresses concern for Tatsumi's well-being, revealing that she's not as cold-hearted as she was thought to be. Her training is revealed to have helped Tatsumi in his mission. When Zanku the Beheader runs loose in the capital, Akame and Tatsumi are sent to kill him. Akame tells Tatsumi about Tegu and how everybody apart from Najenda has one. Tatsumi encounters Zanku, and their fight is interrupted by Akame, who joins in the fight, making the battle between 2 Tegu users. Zanku uses his spectator Tegu to accurately predict Akame's moves, despite the speed and intensity of her strikes. She attempts to clear her mind in order to not be read, but it's useless, as the spectator picks up small changes and predicts her moves. Zanku used Spectator's third ability to show illusions of the target's loved ones to Akame. Zanku claims that no one will be able to cut down their most beloved person. However, Akame sees Kurome and does not hesitate to cut her down. She remarks that the person she loves is the person whom she wishes to kill the most. After a brief fight with Zanku again, she manages to destroy the weapon and cuts him down. Akame does not play a major part in the story until after Sheila's death, when she is thrown to try and help Mine with eating her food. Later on, Tatsumi sees her get dumplings to use as an offering to the deed, as it was Sheila's favorite food. Tatsumi remarks how she must be used to it. However, Akame grabs him and shouts at him, telling him that she will never be able to get used to the pain of losing her friends. Akame agrees to Tatsumi's declaration to change the country without making her experience the pain of losing her friends once more. When Tatsumi is taken by Esdeath, Akame is on the verge of ordering a rescue for him. The other members of Night Raid stop her, but she declares that they will do anything they can for him. Soon after, Tatsumi escapes from Esdeath, and the Jaegers and Akame find him and stop a danger beast from killing Tatsumi in the nick of time. They return to the Night Raid base, where Tatsumi informs Night Raid of the strengthened members of the Jaegers, which include Kurome, Akame's sister. Unbeknownst to them, Dr. Stylish had followed Akame and Tatsumi and found himself at the Night Raid base preparing an attack with his artificially enhanced troops. As the attack began, Night Raid was caught with their guard down. Akame saves Lubak from several enhanced troops, only to find herself challenged by the Knight of Team Stylish, Toby. Akame, after fighting him, discovers that he is a cyborg, and therefore Murasame's poison cannot work on him. She decides that she must slowly hack him to pieces. After she kills Toby, she regroups with the rest of Night Raid. Unfortunately, Dr. Stylish uses his secret poison to paralyze the members of Night Raid. Only Tatsumi manages to move due to Insurcio. As they're about to be attacked by the enhanced troops, they're saved by a timely attack by the newest member of Night Raid, Susanoo, who came along with Najenda and another new member, Chelsea. Seeing that his enhanced troops will fail to defeat Night Raid with the backup of the human Tegu Susanoo, Dr. Stylish undergoes a Danger Beast transformation. This turns him into a colossal Danger Beast, with the only hint of his previous self near the Danger Beast's chest. The Night Raid members deem this point to be the weak point of the Danger Beast. Akame requests Tatsumi to carry her to the chest of the Dr. Stylish Danger Beast. They successfully evade all of his attacks with the help of Susanoo and the others so that Akame can cut him down. Dr. Stylish is killed by the poison from Akame's Tegu. Akame and the others are forced to flee from their base for fear of being found out. They temporarily take residence in an unexplored region of the Empire where they train by subjugating Danger Beasts. They relocate to a new base which is similar to the old one. They receive word that a new type of Danger Beast has been terrorizing the citizens of the Empire. Night Raid accepts this request and sets off to destroy them. Najenda informs the group of the Revolutionary Army's plan to use multiple uprisings to send the Empire into chaos. One of these uprisings is to come from the followers of the Path of Peace. However, it is under threat from an Empire spy named Bolik. It is Night Raid's task to assassinate Bolik and ensure that the plans of the Revolutionary Army are kept intact. Night Raid sends false messages that Akame and Mine have left for one Kyorok in the conflicting reports that Najenda is headed south. Night Raid successfully manages to split the Jaegers into two groups. She is later seen in her bikini with the other members of Night Raid to provide bait for their trap. Mine assures her that if they do end up fighting Kurome, that she will watch Akame's back. 3 months after Bolik's assassination, Night Raid received a flood of requests from citizens as well as the Revolutionary Army to kill Wild Hunt. During the same night, Jaeger members Run and Kurome head to Wild Hunt's headquarters to lure out Champ. Akame assassinates Wild Hunt's Enshin. On the day of Tatsumi's execution, Night Raid arrives on the scene to rescue him. Pairing up with Mine, they take on Esdeath while Leonie and Tatsumi tackle Budo, and over the course of the battle, turn her attention to Budo once Esdeath is ejected. Kurome meets with Akame on the outskirts of the capital at Gyo Forest. They briefly talk about the past before engaging in combat. The two sisters engage in battle, and thanks to a very powerful drug, Kurome is able to land a couple of blows on Akame. Due to being tricked, Kurome then summons her puppets, which include Run, Doya, and Natala, only for them to be disabled with ease by Akame. Just as Akame spots an opening and goes in for the kill, suddenly, Run moves in to protect her from the blow. With the defeat of her puppets, Kurome regains her strength and resolves to fight using her own skills. As the battle continues, Kurome becomes slower due to the drugs wearing off, and Yatsufusa taking its toll. Kurome attempts to ingest more drugs just to beat Akame, only to be stopped by Wave. He speaks about protecting Kurome and declares his love for her, which causes her to be conflicted, and so she tries fighting until Wave snatches her weapon and shatters it, stating that she needs closure. After being kissed by Wave, Kurome tearfully asks for him to take her away. Wave announces their defection from the Empire and the sisters make up, with Akame telling Kurome to live a happy life. She also takes Yatsufusa's shard as evidence to fake Kurome's death to the Revolutionary Army, while only a few such as Tatsumi, Wave, Najenda, and Akame know the truth. The night before Night Raid's final mission, she remembered the group's former members and swore to kill her last targets. She also stated that she would like to go on a boat trip with the remaining members of Night Raid after the revolution. Najenda told her the names of her last targets. Akame was also given a drug that enhanced her strength to increase her chances of completing her mission, which she has to administer before her battle with Esdeath. Akame and Leonie then infiltrated the Imperial Palace and killed Yukon, their first target. She then confronted her next two targets, Kuke and Dusen, in the palace courtyard. While the targets ran away, a Tegu user appeared to stop them. Akame ordered Leonie to push the targets while she faced the Tegu user. He activated several lethal traps with his Tegu, such as projectiles and poisonous gas, but was soon eliminated by Akame. Leonie reunited with her after killing the targets, and both were shocked after seeing Shikotazer. She separated from Leone and went after Saikyu, who was hiding in the basement. She swiftly killed him and his bodyguards before they could escape. She took his tegu, Rongo Rongo, with her as well. Suzuka confronted her and attempted to kill her by destroying the entire basement. Akame survived the destruction of the basement and stopped Esdeath from attacking Tatsumi. Esdeath noted that Akame's strength had increased by some kind of performance enhancer. Akame told Esdeath that the Empire has fallen after Shikotazer's destruction. However, Esdeath claimed she didn't really care about the Empire and their battle continued. 10 Tegu users and over 100,000 soldiers under the command of Najenda came to aid her in the battle with Esdeath. However, Esdeath used her new trump card, Ice Storm Commander-in-Chief, to freeze a large part of the Empire and started killing the opposing soldiers and Tegu users. When Tatsumi appeared, now completely transformed into a dragon, Akame pleaded with him to fall back and leave the rest to her. Akame started to circle Esdeath and managed to cut her arm while she's distracted. Esdeath manages to survive the curse by freezing time and amputating her own arm. She also wounds Tatsumi, who pleads with Akame to kill him before his consciousness fades away completely. Akame proceeds to stab Tatsumi and activates Murasame's trump card. She again confronts Esdeath and fights her on equal terms thanks to the power of her trump card, even cutting off a few of the general's fingers. Esdeath, who is enjoying the battle, creates a wall that separates both her and Akame from the Revolutionary Army. Realizing that she can't use her trump card for much longer, Akame musters her strength together for a final assault. However, Esdeath encases herself in a giant soldier made of ice. Akame evades Esdeath's attacks and tries to smash through the ice. However, Esdeath reads her moves and catches Murasame between her hands. She then freezes and subsequently shatters its blade. Akame pushes every last ounce of her strength into her final attack and grabs Esdeath's own sword. She then strikes Murasame's handle and stabs Esdeath with its broken blade. Murasame's trump card deactivates, and Akame sees Tatsumi flying towards them. Akame explains to Esdeath that she lost because she's alone, and Tatsumi survived because there are people waiting for his return. She watches as a dying Esdeath encases herself in ice and shatters. Her mission now being complete, she meets up with Tatsumi and Najenda. She explains that when she stabbed Tatsumi, she targeted Tyrant's life force instead of Tatsumi's, and thus only Tyrant died. Akame then remembers Tatsumi's promise to her that he wouldn't die, and was glad that she can help him keep that promise. Even though Murasame's trump card had ended, faded red scars remained all over Akame's body and caused it to hurt. She eventually found Leone and noticed that she was hurt as well. Akame wanted to call for a doctor but was stopped by Leone, who told Akame that she was fine, and explained that she was only alive because she fused with her Tegu. Akame tried to persuade Leone to seek help, but Leone declined again because she wanted to choose how and where she died. Leone told Akame that she was her best friend and said goodbye. Akame is present along with Najenda when Tatsumi and Mine reunite, and the latter wakes up from her coma. She tells Najenda that she believes in love, and that memories play a significant part in Mine's recovery. When Najenda said she couldn't believe Mine was pregnant with Tatsumi's child, Akame told her that when she went to get a drink of water in the middle of the night, she witnessed Mine trying to make Tatsumi forget about Esdeath. Akame later comforted Kurome when they were laying in bed. Akame told her that she has saved many lives by allowing Wave to go to the capital during the final battle. Akame then hugged her when she was plagued by hallucinations of the people she killed. Akame also occasionally visited Kurome and Wave afterward. Najenda later met up with Akame, who informed her that she was mostly used to the pain from Murasame's curse and was ready to go to work once again. Akame then declared to keep working until the chaos and disorder in the new empire were eradicated. After she had completed her assignments, Akame left the new empire by boat with Rongo Rongo to hide the fact that the new nation had employed assassins. She sailed to the lands to the east in search of Jinwa, the island where Murasame's roots lie. She hoped that there would be a cure for Murasame's curse that still caused her pain. While alone on the ship, Akame thought to herself that she wouldn't want to trade the time spent with her companions for anything. She also decided that she would continue to live and find a way to grow as a person. Hinowa ga crush. Sometime after the events in Akame ga Kill, Akame's ship gets caught in a storm. Despite Akame having successfully escaped into a smaller boat that she made as a precaution, the storm still hits her, and Akame ends up at Jinwa's shore, where she's rescued by Hinata and Tobari. Hinata offers her a place to stay, and in exchange for rescuing her and giving her a place to stay, Akame teaches Hinata swordsmanship due to their similar sword styles. Upon meeting with the elder of the village under the recommendations of Hinata and Tobari, Akame tells them her real purpose in coming to Jinwa, that Akame is searching for a way to undo Murasame's curse on herself and to find a way to change Tegu-transformed humans back to their human form, mostly Tatsumi, who had turned to tyrant. Akame also reveals that Murasame's curse is slowly killing her. Akame was initially advised by the elder to not participate in battle because of her serious injuries, while all of the elders' class are participating in their first war. However, she manages to fully recover and heads to Mount Kageboshi, where she arrives in time to assist Hinata, who is about to be killed by Yomihime. Dueling Yomihime, the elders' class students, except for Hisame, witness the duel, realizing that Akame and Yomihime are in a higher league. Both of them address each other names before Yomihime tries to kill Akame with Falcon Sweep, and her kill signature moves. Akame charges and parries it. In addition, she's also able to close distances to Yomihime, much to her surprise, and injure her right arm. Frustrated, Yomihime makes a hasty retreat while Akame chooses not to pursue her due to her sword breaking shortly after dueling Yomihime. Comforting Hinata over her incapabilities to slay Yomihime, Akame offers herself once again to train Hinata in swordsmanship once the Battle of Mount Kageboshi is over. Akame and the class are attending the class with Elder, wanting to know about Meihu even more. The Elder then gives any information that he can get about Meihu and also tells Akame not to rush into things despite that she is thinking about Meihu's attribute that can suppress her curse. Akame receives a medicinal herb to ease down the curse temporarily, while also the Elder will cover the cost of Akame's Meihu as a token of gratitude for saving Hinata and the class from death by Yomihime. She and the class participate in hunting down Umibozu, a squid danger beast, and they defeat it. A month later, she and the class receive Meihu and are ready for the next battle. Sometime later, Akame spars with Hinata, and she narrowly loses the duel as Hinata constantly improves thanks to Akame's lessons. When she, Hisame, and Hinata are about to have lunch together, Tobari butts in, delivering urgent news that Tenro is going to attack again. During the meeting with the Elder, she participates in the beginning of the battle to assist them. She then notices that Hisame's goal is to wed Princess Rinzu when the princess is giving a speech to Sokai's soldiers to boost morale. At Shiranui Forest, Akame works under command of Hinata, who is now a captain. She goes on stakeout, defeating several Tenro ninjas and leaving one survivor to be left for questioning by Sukai's scout. When Kyokotsu arrives, she continues on a stakeout, unable to witness the duel between Kyokotsu and Buaku, and later, Suzumaru. Her action of defeating many Tenro ninjas earned Maruge's commendation upon her returning that night. She continues her duty as usual until when Soil Spider attacks the fortress. She, along with Hinata and Hisame's unit, manage to suppress hordes of Soil Spider. Immediately, she discovers Tenro spies and confirms Yomihime's participation in this battle. Just when Yomihime is about to assist Kyokotsu after being trapped inside, Akame faces her once more. Both of them start their duel again in front of the Shiranui fortress while facing overwhelming pressure from Yomihime, who questions her appearance as a human. Dueling Yomihime, Akame learns her true identity as a person who was born between danger beast and human. Akame manages to suppress her, but not before Yomihime unleashes more fire that suddenly goes out of control and retreats. She returns shortly after Hisame beheads Kyokotsu, and Hinata is relieved to see Akame return in one piece, albeit suffering from light burn damage. Following the battle, Akame refuses the promotion to captain and ninja since being a foot soldier allows her to move more freely. During the Battle of Sukai Nation, Akame is able to sneak into Tenro's camp. Learning Zhou's nature and lack of intel, she postpones the assassination of him. When Moegi notices her presence, Akame takes a pill and utilizes this chance to eliminate her personal harem guard and eliminate Moegi single-handedly. While the effect remains, she rushes to eliminate Zhou, but Nahashu stops her, driving her to hesitation before the Murasame curse returns, and she's forced to retreat while being pursued by Kururiya. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. videos.